I think it was encouraging to not just see all of the plaintiff couples in there, but encouraging to hear about how truly when we talk about any state's interest in marriage, that it is important that same-sex couples be able to have the same protections for the children that they adopt or mutually agree on deciding to have. So I think that one of the absolute best things about what I heard in there today was that there is a state's interest in same-sex couples being able to get married.
The court was clearly not interested in hearing the fundamental rationale, which is that as a social policy, while we recognize there are exceptions, we want to affirm, we want to encourage, and we want to normalize the idea that a child grows up with both his mother and his father. That is the normative, optimal social arrangement.
One of the other harms that I think is very real, and we're seeing in other states, is we're on a collision course with religious freedom. Because in many of the states where they've gone down the path of redefining marriage, then people who object to providing services for those folks who are looking for these marriages are then suddenly called into court. And there's a family in New York who objected to having a marriage on their farm, and they've been fined $13,000. So to me, that's a harm, and that's a real risk.
We're extremely hopeful and optimistic based on what we heard today. It felt like it went extremely well. It felt like the court was not persuaded at all by the arguments that were put forward by the state, and we're hopeful we'll get a speedy victory. Well, there were a lot of questions about what harm there is to the state from allowing same-sex couples to marry, and the state, both Indiana and Wisconsin, could offer no suggestions. Clearly, there's tremendous harm here to same-sex couples and to their children, but there's absolutely no harm to anyone else from allowing them to marry.
I mean, this court, the questioning of these three judges today, completely obliterated the state of Indiana's arguments against our right to marry and our right to provide our child with the same respects and dignities all other Hoosier families have, and that he deserves, and our family deserves.
Look, the Supreme Court's made it very clear that the Constitution protects the equal dignity of lesbians and gay men, and saying that the fundamental right to marry applies to different sex couples, but not to same-sex couples, violates the equal dignity of same-sex couples. And that is a limiting principle based in constitutional law, based in Supreme Court law. So I don't think there's any real trouble here on that front. We'll see what the judges say.